All right, welcome back to our problem solving unit. Today we are going to talk a little bit about processing. Oh, too far. All right, so our definition for processing, the thinking work computers do to turn our inputs into outputs. So if you are in my class, we've already talked about both inputs and outputs. But how does a computer, what in that middle work, how does a computer take that input and make it an output? We are going to talk about four different types of processing that a computer can use. Now, there are many more than four types of processing, but these are the only four we're going to focus on today. If then, if something is true, do something else. And if you're in my class for the assignment and whenever you choose if then, you need to use both those words in your statement. If I click this button, it will bring me to a new, then it will bring me to a new screen. I almost messed up. Comparing. It's going to compare two things to each other. Now it could be numbers. Is three the same as three? But it doesn't have to be the same as numbers. It could be comparing apples to oranges. What is the difference between this and that? Finding a match. If you've ever paid memory, you know how to find a match. So the computer is trying to find a match to what you selected. Counting. It keeps track of how many of something there are. Counting one, two, three. All right. If you're at home and have the program, you can go ahead and try using the program. If you do not have access to code.org, I'm going to run it on this computer a few times for you. So if we say that the birthday of the user is on January 1st, and then we hit find out if it's your birthday, it'll tell us it was already your birthday this year, so you've already had your birthday this year. If we say that your birthday is December, let's go with 31st. Find out if it's been your birthday this year. It's not your birthday yet this year. And if we choose today, which today is December 4th, find out if it's your birthday. It's your birthday with a little birthday cake. You are then going to go over to our worksheet. All right, so then you're going to come over to the worksheet, and it's already done the first one for you. It put for, is it your birthday? If then. If the birthday is today, then it shows you a happy birthday message. Now, it could use more than one type of processing. It could be, you could use comparing. It compared the user's birth date to today's date. Same thing with finding a match. Um, the computer matched the user's birth date to today's date. So if it matched, you'd get a matching message. If it didn't, you don't. And counting. This is a little more of a stretch, but it could be calculating whether or not your birthday has passed. For example, if it is today, it would calculate as zero. There are 0 days to or from your birthday. If it has already passed, it would be a negative number. If it hasn't come yet, it would be a positive number. I would definitely have used one of the other three. If then and comparing, I think, are the best two for this one. But I just wanted to show you how more than one type of processing could be used. Now, if you're in my class, I'm not grading you on whether you highlight the correct one. A lot of these have multiple correct answers. But you're going to pick one. I'm going to show you how to highlight. You're going to highlight that with your mouse, and this right here is a highlighting tool. You're going to click it and use one of these like lighter colors so that I can still read. And you're going to highlight it so that I know what you're talking about. And then over here, you're going to type in your explanation of how the processing works. All right, let's go look at the second one. We can do the second one together. All right, so bubble number 2. We have the National Park quiz. So you're going to hit run and start. What was the first national park? You might not know that. That's okay. You're just going to pick one. Yellowstone. I got it right. So it says correct. Yellowstone was the first national park created by President Ulysses S. Grant in 1872. So it told me I was right and gave me a fact. Next question, which is the largest national park? So we're going to click Yellowstone so we can look at a wrong message. It says sorry, and then it gives you an explanation right here. So it gives us a question, and then we're inputting an answer. All right, so the input is our answer, but how does it get from our answer to its response? Let's go back and look at the worksheet. All right, we could say it's finding a match. It is matching our answer to the correct answer. If it matches, it's going to show us that it's correct. If it doesn't match, it's going to show us the correct answer. So you would highlight that and put your explanation here. You could also say it's comparing, or you could use an if then. If you are in my class, right here, it says for each one, you're going to choose one type of processing. So you're going to highlight the one you pick, and that is going to be the one you explain. When you get down here, it's the same thing, but now it wants you to do two types of processing. So if then is on the top, you're going to highlight if then, and then you're going to put your if then explanation first. If you're then doing finding a match, you would then put your finding a match explanation there. Going down, I'm going to explain these all first. Going down, your app idea. So you may or may not have gotten an app idea approved for your project. But right here, this will help you with your project. What is the idea for your app? What are the inputs? What are the outputs? What type of processing does it use? You're going to pick one of these four, and then you're going to explain how it works, just like you did up here, right here. So let's go check out all the apps. All right, so we checked out the National Park app. We're going to move to the next app. All right, how many countries? We're going to run it. How many countries are landlocked? Came up with 49. Reset. How many countries have sent people to space? 37. All right, we'll do one more. How many countries are decreasing in population? 21. So that's what you're going to do for this one. You're going to go over to the worksheet, and what type of processing are you going to use? Let's look at the next one. Enter your birthday. This app is the My Famous Birthday app. We're just going to pick a random date. If your birthday was May 9th, 1998, you're going to hit Find a Writer. You were born on a Saturday, all right? So it's matching the day of the week that you were born, just like Margaret Atwood. And it has her picture and who the who took the image and the copyright stuff. If we reset it, let's just say, there we go. You were January 1st. I don't even remember what year I put. You were born on a Thursday, and it does the same thing. It gives you a famous author. All right, let's try a Friday. All right, January 2nd, 1998. All right, and then we have another famous author. All right, so go back to your worksheet and fill that one out. The stamp book, I will say that this is probably one of the trickier ones to figure out. We can click on the stamps and they will highlight. Notice each one highlights in red first. If I click on the stamp multiple times, I can change the color. And then if I click on the paper, I can make that stamp appear on the paper in that color. There are a ton of different directions you could go with this. Fastest fingers. Maybe you've been working on typing in my class. So it wants you to use the S and the K key. If you are in my class, please use the proper finger positions for your typing. And you're going to start, oh, we got hit run. You are going to start tapping on the keys. And if you notice, the count will go up. So it is counting how many times you hit each of the keys to see which finger is faster. All right. And down here, it tells you K is winning. So it'll tell you, and if we make S go ahead, it'll tell you S is winning. So go ahead and go to your worksheet and do that one. Make sure, I believe this one is you have to find two types of processing. So make sure you're doing that. All right, think of a number from 1 to 100. This is a guess the number. So your guess, you're going to guess. You haven't guessed it yet, and you only have 5 tries. So let's take a guess. Let's go somewhere in the middle. Let's go with 45. I like that number. Oh, it's too low. And it tells us we have 4 tries left now. All right, let's try 71. Oh, it's too high. Let's try 68. We're still too high. Let's try 59. We're still too high. We got one more guess. Let's try 48. The number was 46. So we were really close that first time. Um, and then you can do it again. Keep in mind, there it uses more than one type of processing, and you're going to put 2 different types of processing. And our last one, where should I live? The app gives you advice on where you should live based on the answers you give it to a few questions. So remember, the answers we're giving it is the input. So what do you like to do for fun? We're going to say go camping. How do you like to get around? We're going to say biking. What type of pets do you like? I like chickens because I have chickens. What food do you like? Home cooked meals, trying new restaurants, my regular restaurant delivery, takeout. I like home cooked meals. All right, you should live in a small town. So if you can see that the red has the highest percentage for a small town, the country is a close second, the suburbs is the next, and it says there's a very small likelihood that I would want to live in a big city. Yeah, big city is probably not for me, and it would be right. You can reset it, try it yourself if you have access to it. Let's do it one more time. Let's say we like to go to sports games. Let's say we like to drive around. Let's go with dogs. And let's try some new restaurants now. Now it thinks I should live in the suburbs. And the big city is actually a close second. So think about how this app works and what type of processing it would use. If you were in my class, there is one last thing. Make sure you put your first name, last name with a capital letter at the beginning of each and no dot, what class period this is, and the date. All right. I can't wait to see you for the next lesson. Have a great day, and I will see you soon so we can talk about storage.